I need to wait for it. There it is. Hello, degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes Cardinals deep dive and a little bit into the NFC West. I am the brofict one, AJ. Joining me as always is the man with the numbers, the sportsbook whisperers, the college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, Mr. Noah Engelbretson. And on this special occasion, we have Mr. Arizona himself, Andres, joining us. How the hell are you boys doing today? Noah, let me start with you.
Oh, I'm doing great. Had to sweat out the end of the home run derby last night. That was
got
a little dicey, but worked out for the best. Ended up in the green, so we're good with that. Just watching a little bit of the All-Star game. It's great. I'm doing great.
Oh yeah, Andres, how the hell are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm about to move, so my life is kind of an upheaval right now, but we're getting through it.
Dude, still staying in the Valley though, right? Because you got to stay in the most growing sports nation that there is here in this city, right?
No, like my favorite quarterback from the Seahawks, I am going to Denver.
Damn.
Not actually, I hate Russell Wilson. I want that to be clear, but I am sadly going to the same place he is.
Hey, it happens. Sometimes you got to make the deals that you can, but I'm going to jump right into it. Let's talk about deals that don't need to be made. Okay. The Suns, the Phoenix Suns already signed DeAndre Ayton to that max deal and everything. And here we are with Kyler Murray, who has not won a playoff game, who hasn't done really anything notable since he's been in the league. I mean, Andres, you and I are the biggest Arizona Cardinals fans here. I am against signing him. Give me one good reason why we should give this guy a Brinks truck of money.
I mean, I think that he's probably up there with I'm not comparing him to these people, but he's been the MVP front runner the last 2 seasons at some point,
Fair.
Very few quarterbacks have been that good over 2 years. You know what I mean? I understand that the second half of the seasons have been pretty bad. In his defense, in all those years, he's had some sort of injury. But I mean, that first half is just incredible. You'd pay a ton of money to get that for a whole season.
Yeah, but that's my issue. We're getting a first half. We're not getting a full season. I mean, you got our head coach and our star quarterback who can't win games past 500, and they just go on a slide at the end of the season. Why should we give him a shit ton of money? I am pissed off that we gave Cliff Kingsbury that extension that he got. And
I'll agree to that. I think that I think Cliff is entirely should have the exact same tenor as Kyler. They are hand in hand. So if Kyler's not getting a contract extension, there's no reason to have Cliff. Without Kyler, I want Cliff gone. The only reason I keep Cliff around is for Kyler. But also, I just want to point out, if you're a great Arizona Cardinals fan, the pain that we've gone through. I'll take that first half of the season. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to go back to Max Hall, Brian St. Pierre, John Skelton, and then every once in a while getting a diamond in the rough and Kurt Warner. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
Hey, I'll take that over being a team that makes the playoffs every year and choke. Shout out to the Packers. But Noah, what are your thoughts on the Cardinals and the NFC West? I mean, what do you think the issue is? Do you think it's Kyler? Do you think it's the coaching? What are we going with here?
No, I don't think it's fair to blame Kyler. I don't know why. I still don't get why you have it so out for him.
Dude, because he can't play quarterback.
I think he's a fringe top 10 quarterback in the league. I'd entertain an argument that he's top 10. I personally have him just outside of my top 10, but I don't think it's fair to blame Kyler. It's Cliff Kingsbury needs to be gone. That's the source of the issues with the Cardinals right now is terrible coaching. And Kingsbury's got a record of it in the NFL. And even if you look back to when he was at Texas Tech, it was the same thing, hot starts and then absolutely falling apart halfway through the season. So it's nothing new to Cliff Kingsbury. And I think the Cardinals need to get better coaching in there. I don't think Kyler's really, now I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve to shoulder any of the blame, but I think a lot of the blame should fall on other shoulders other than Kyler Murray.
I agree to a point. However, I have to point back to the playoff game we had this last season where Kyler refused to run the ball past the line of scrimmage. And he's a mobile quarterback, a running quarterback. So I do expect him to run the ball a little bit. I'm so sorry. That's what my expectations are. But that's what he is. That's what he does. I mean, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good end of the season for the Cardinals in general. And we're going to be facing the same type of punishment with not having DeAndre Hopkins. Andres, I know that we got Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown on the roster, used to be teammates with Kyler. I'm pretty hype on the beginning of the season, but I'm not over optimistic. Like, I think we win maybe 3 out of those games that D Hop's gone. What are you thinking?
Well, just on the Marquise Brown thing, I mean, I just want to say I think it'll be pretty exciting to see what Cliff Kingsbury can do with him, because like that's the thing with Cliff is he's supposed to be like a really creative offensive like mastermind. So we'll see how he utilizes him. And just to that point with what Noah was saying, I think that Cliff deserves a lot of blame because like he's supposed to be this creative genius, you know, and then second half of the season, the play calling becomes like dud after dud after dud, you know, like all the creativity is gone, you know? Yeah, I mean, it really sucks losing D-Hop for those first 6 games. Like, that is going to drastically change the offense. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that Marquise Brown or really any receiver can fill that in. Like, AJ Green is a, you know, shell at this point. And
he's
like,
a great 4th receiver.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty worried about that. I think we'll have to be very reliant on Zach Ertz and I forget his name, the new tight end that they got from Colorado State, who I've heard is actually pretty good. But, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'd be very happy with 3 wins out of that, which honestly also scares the shit out of me because the like last 4 games of our season is brutal. We have the Buccaneers, I believe the Rams, 49ers as well. And I forget one other game against a great team. So
the entire Arizona Cardinals schedule is just dirty. Like, I hate talking about it because it just brings me pain. Because there's only so many games I can see us winning. But Noah, I mean, being the Packers fan that you are with a great quarterback already, like, how do you see us doing this year as Cardinals? Like, are we looking at a positive season? I mean, San Francisco's going with Trey Lance probably. We don't know about Debo. The Rams are the Rams. I mean, what are we doing here?
I think the one saving grace is I do think all 4 teams in the NFC West are going to be at least a hair worse than they were last year. So,
okay.
Really, the Rams?
Even the Rams?
After they signed Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I don't think the Rams overall got better.
Ooh.
Okay.
And that, you know, that may be a hot take, but I don't think any team in this division got better. I do think, well, obviously Seattle got a lot worse.
Yeah. Let's talk about Seattle.
Yeah. And you know, I hate to say it for you Cardinals fans, but I think it's going to be returned to just, you know, annual mediocrity.
Noah, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm with you. I really do not expect a lot of this Cardinals team, especially out of this guy who plays video games all night that we want to call our quarterback, who only plays good on away games because he doesn't have his gaming systems there. Like, I'm so done with Kyler. I have been very vocal. If we are going to re-sign anyone as an Arizona sports, you know, state, let's re-sign DeAndre Ayton. Let's not re-sign Kyler because we can do so much better than Kyler. I was first here to say,
if you're going to bring up the video game argument, how are you going
to? I was the one who said, let's get Baker here over Kyler. Baker would win a Super Bowl here.
That's a downgrade.
Not even a downgrade, bro.
It's a huge drop off.
No shot.
Baker doesn't have anywhere near the skill set that Kyler Murray
Here's the
brings.
thing that with Kyler, like we're talking about Kyler in terms of like, I understand like he has had incredible highs and incredible lows, but even like the highs that we've seen, I don't think are like his true ceiling. Like, I don't think we've ever seen a phenomenal rushing game out of him. I in terms of passing, I'll say that we've probably seen like his ceiling for that, but we've never seen him like really, really run it.
But as an Arizona fan, doesn't it worry you that we've had him now for 3 years and we haven't seen his max potential? Because I love the Cardinals. I'm an Arizona guy through and through. However, what the fuck is Kyler doing here? Because he's just going to run the ball, get to the playoffs, and then wait for him to get his contract. That's not what I'm looking for in a quarterback. I'm looking for a quarterback who's willing to win. And I have not seen that killer mentality out of Kyler.
Well, you also have to look at all the pieces around him. Like, yeah, he's got D-Hop, but, you know, the offensive line, I guess I would call them average. I don't know that I've paid super close attention, but they don't seem terrible, but they're not anything outstanding. Outside of D-Hop, he hasn't really had any like good receivers, any great receiving threats.
I mean, Christian Kirk, you could argue is like a decent like wide receiver too, but like, I mean, I wouldn't want him to be my wide receiver too. Like if I were starting a football team, you know, like,
well, and yeah, we'll see. I think it'll be different when D-Hop does come back because, you know, Hollywood Brown obviously was forced to be the wide receiver 1 in Baltimore. He's not good enough to be a wide receiver 1, but he could really thrive in a wide receiver 2.
No, he's a good W1.
He's not a wide receiver 1. You cannot sit here and tell me that Hollywood Brown's a good wide receiver 1.
Out of here. He is going to.
Yeah, I agree with Noah wholeheartedly here. I'm very happy he's our wide receiver 2. If I were starting a franchise, I would not want him to be my wide receiver 1. Not even
Neither
close.
would I. But with D-Hop suspended over bullshit reasons, I am so stoked to have him as W number 1.
All right. Well,
wow.
AJ,
no
here you have it. AJ's stoked.
Wow.
He's wide receiver 2 material. He's a solid wide receiver 2. That's Hollywood Brown for you.
Whatever.
And
I also think most Ravens fans would agree with that. I would be surprised if any of them disagreed.
But also, and this is the last thing I'm going to bring up, he was not in a position to catch a lot of passes. I mean, let's look at that Ravens team. You tell me right now that Ravens team is set up for a wide receiver. It's not. It's all running game. It's all play action. It's all that bullshit because you have a superstar.
I mean, also, if it's all play action, a play action offense should be able to utilize like a burner receiver better like than Marquise Brown. And I think the fact that like they can't is the fact that Marquise Brown is just not a wide receiver 1. I think he was in a pretty decent system to help him.
Yeah. And his biggest
thing. I mean, no. Think about this. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Andres.
Go on.
Think about it. Like against Lamar, you're playing a lot more players in the box, right? Because like you're treating him as a runner rather than a passer first, right?
Yeah.
Right. So your safeties are moved up. You have a wide receiver who can burn pretty much any safety and corner in the league, hypothetically, right? Yeah, and you don't see that week in and week out. So, like, I don't see that as a wide receiver 1. I think it's a very good wide receiver 2.
Well, and you know why that is.
Given the opportunity.
No. It's because his route running is garbage. Because Hollywood Brown he's so fast. I'm not going to deny his speed. But if you look at him, he doesn't get very good yards of separation on most of his routes, which tells me that he's just running sloppy routes. And that's what he's been doing since he's been in the league, is running sloppy routes. And he gets open sometimes, but not as much as he should with how much speed he has.
And with what Noah's saying, I think that like even if you watch his like highlights or just like games of him in college, I think that that's pretty true too. I think he and Kyler kind of did like a lot of like what seemed like backyard football at times, and it kind of just worked because they were so much more athletic than everyone.
And I think.
I mean, I hope I see the same thing in the NFL, but.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Every day in the NFL, no matter what team you're going against freak athletes from every part of the globe. I think Kyler and Hollywood Brown have that kind of chemistry to where they can pull it over. And that's what I'm betting on. I will give you my lock right now for week 1. My lock right now for week 1 is Marquise Brown's over on yards. Done. It's done. Go ahead and take that to the bookie already. It's going to get cash. It's one of those things. It happens. But
who do they play week 1?
They play the Chiefs, I believe.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I believe that because that's a great matchup. I mean, they should be like in a.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because like.
All right, just also hypothetically, give me what you want that number to be. Like, what would you say Vegas is going to put that at?
So I think Vegas will put
somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah, like 80, 82 and a half, 83 and a half, and I think he'll go easily for 100 in that first game.
I'd agree with that. I would.
And it's one of those things. Like,
I still don't think that makes him wide receiver one. I want that to be clear. I really don't.
Not wide receiver one. D Hop is still wide receiver one, but until D Hop gets back, he is wide receiver one.
Well, yeah, he will be. Whether he's a good wide receiver one or not, we'll find out. But so I'm gonna dive into it here. What do we have for record predictions? Because I've got the Cardinals. I've got them right as a coin flip to go above or below 500, but ultimately I've got them going 9-8 on the season.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like the betting line over under at 9. So that's kind of right where I am.
Andres, I'll throw it to you after this. I really think they're 10-17. It's going to be like that 1 year where we live together and the Bears accidentally make the playoffs. Like, I really feel it's going to be one of those years. I really have no confidence in this team whatsoever, especially with Kyler being the moody little bitch he is. I don't want this extension. I don't want any of it, but we're going to get it. And fine, let's get it. But Kyler, please grow the fuck up a little bit. With that being said, Andres, what do you think they're going to do?
I mean, my heart says they'll win over, but that's because, like, you know, I love them so much. I kind of agree with Noah. I think it'll be like, I think that it's more than likely going to push, to be honest with you. I really hope that we can get like 10, 11 or something like that. But honestly, I think it really comes down to how we do with the hop out. But I probably would not take that bet. I would take the under.
Take the under. You got it, especially with D hop out for so many. With all that being said, Noah, Andres, we'll start with you, Noah. Do you have anything else to say to the D-Gens before we sign off tonight?
Not really, man. Hey, let's go AL. Bring home the All-Star game, baby.
Let's see what happens there. Andres, you got anything to say to the D-Gens out there?
I got just one question for you guys before we hop off. But so you were talking, Noah, about how you think all of the teams in the NFC West got worse, right, in the offseason?
Yes.
So does that mean that
rather, I don't think any of them improved.
No one improved.
I don't think they necessarily all got worse. I would say the Rams are pretty equal to what they were last year.
Okay, so then with that, I mean, I don't think a whole lot really changed for the 49ers other than the quarterback position. So both of you think that he is a downgrade from Jimmy Garoppolo?
Oh, absolutely. There is no chance that Trey Lance is an upgrade from what Jimmy G was last year. There is no shot whatsoever. I am off of the Trey Lance bandwagon. I am firmly on the Jimmy G. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Let's go. I mean, Jimmy G is their quarterback. He should be their quarterback. And I promise you, if Jimmy G doesn't get traded during this offseason, he will be their starter by week 4.
I don't think by week 4, but I do think by somewhere between weeks 6 and 8. Maybe even week 5.
And not because of injury. You think that just performance?
Just performance. Yes. Yeah, just performance.
And my big thing, which I've covered once or twice on the show, is I think there's a reason they haven't moved Jimmy G yet. And I think it's because the 49ers, and obviously they won't admit it, but I think they know that Trey Lance isn't what they want, or he's not at the point right now where they want him to be, which is why they haven't moved on from Jimmy G, because otherwise there's no reason not to go get like trade capital or some other like player for Jimmy G.
All right. That's I like that reasoning there. And so just really quickly, what do you have their like win total at?
I like the Niners also, like to go either 8-9 or 9-8. So I've got them picked at 9-8, the same as the Cardinals. I've just got the Cardinals with a
6 and
tiebreaker
12.
for whatever reason. Just
Wow.
'cause-
Okay.
6
Would
and
you guys be
12.
shocked to hear? I mean, I'm this may have changed because I haven't checked it today. This was like a couple weeks ago. I do happiness hedges on like every other team winning the NFC West because that'll break my heart.
Fair.
But the 49ers were like 10.5 is their over under.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Whole game
it's,
and a half ahead of the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's up there. But yeah, I like the under on the Niners, not by a whole lot, but I like that to go. I don't see them winning 11 games. That seems ridiculous.
That it does.
Especially if they don't have Debo, especially if Debo's not on the starting roster.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on with Debo.
That's true.
But all of that being said, boys, thank you so much for your time to be on this pod to talk about the Cardinals and the NFC West and everything. Andres, do you have any social media or anything you want to push before we sign off?
Yeah, sure. My Instagram is Andy on Insta. So go ahead and follow me.
Fucking follow him, dude. I'm at Brofict1 on Twitter and on all social media platforms. That is Noah Engelbretson at N_Engelbretson or Engel Money Train in order to get the best bets possible. The link for our merch and everything will be down below. Go ahead, subscribe, like, share, do all of that bullshit.